good morning or good day or good afternoon or good evening, just good. Namaste. What's the best thing that's happened to you today? I am just going to call, I don't know what day it is. I know my 51 days has passed. What I want to do is recap what I've learned, and I'm going to do another challenge. I'm going to tweak my things that I want to improve on. What still needs work is my food, my Bright Line eating. I know that Bright Line eating works. I need to get a mediator to help me with my inner 2-year-old who's very loud, and I don't like to be yelled at, and she yells. And so I just give in to whatever it is she wants. Not all the time, but I'm going to be the adult, and I'm going to pick some good choices. Food is your medicine. Some of the things we put in our bodies, poison. Tastes good, feels good, not good for you. We know that. The brain doesn't always enter into the equation. Mine doesn't, maybe. I'm not speaking for anybody else but me. So my 51 days, I'm going to call it an absolute success. I set out with very, 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 very high and strenuous goals. Those were stretch goals. I also realized that I never have spent any time or much time talking about heroic. I am sold on the self-mastery program, lock, stock, and barrel. I have been a fan, I wouldn't say admirer, but admirer. So I have followed a follower. I've followed Brian's work through 2 or 3 different businesses. I don't remember how I stumbled across him, but I will tell you it wasn't for e-teams. So before any of the social media things, he developed a program for linking baseball. So it's baseball teams. So he wanted to have a worldwide network that everybody could access in one site. The schedule, the practice, the coaches, the contacts, grandmas and grandpas could see photographs, and it would just be an everything baseball, e-teams. He was very, very successful in that, and was very, very encouraged not to pursue it. Nobody. It was way, way out there, and it hadn't been done yet. And he did it. Sold it. What did he say this morning? He said it was kind of like ESPN, mobile or for kids. And I didn't say that. It was for Little League or the youngsters. So anyway, Heroic has had changes, which just like a little instar turns into a caterpillar, which turns into a chrysalis, which turns into a butterfly. And so I have enjoyed watching the growth, and am truly impressed with the steps taken and what the mission statement is, and I won't go into that today. I'm going to start tomorrow with the mission statement and the principles behind it, and the importance of it. And who is it for? Everybody. I can't think of one person, any place in the world, that wouldn't benefit from this program. It's all done idiosyncratically, which means it's not one size fits all. Everybody has to do what Brian says. Everybody has to be like Brian. The Heroic team is diverse. His wife does coaching, the head coach does coaching, everybody does their things in different ways. The premise is to help each one of us become the best version of ourselves, however we choose to express that. I've not seen any coaching programs that allow you that flexibility. The foundations that it builds and helps you get your wisdom in those areas, how to find your purpose, how to increase your lower characteristics and virtues. And I will continually have to work on my discipline. That's, I believe, self-regulation is 24 out of 24. I'll look at it. I'm not going to dig through my desk today, but I bought the VIA characteristics test workbook. I find that to be one of the most helpful things in self-knowledge. It gives you a roadmap, what to work on, what to celebrate. We don't celebrate enough. BJ Fogg tells us that in Tiny Habits, Stanton professor, that we don't celebrate. Change is more difficult because we try to make it too big of a goal, and then we don't celebrate the little tiny steps. One example, seems bizarre to me, but he was trying to get himself to floss, and he make it obvious. He put his floss next to his toothbrush. He already had a pattern of brushing his teeth 2 or 3, 4 times a day, whatever that was for him. And so he put the floss out, and he made a goal of flossing one tooth. One. I'm not going to waste my dental floss on that, but I already have that habit. So, but just to make the point, one tooth. He says, you don't get to do 2. You get all excited, and I'm all jazzed up, and I'm going to floss every tooth every day, and rah, rah. One tooth. He says, one tooth. You only get to do one tooth. Floss that tooth, and you celebrate however you want to. Yes! That's like me, or cartwheels, or pat on the back. Again, there's no rules. Whatever makes you feel good and proud that you flossed that one tooth, or whatever it is you were trying to incorporate in your habit. You have to do that for a week. Then you get to do 2 teeth. Then you get to do 3. He said the most important part of all of that, whether you learn the science of his little steps, memorize his book, celebrate. Give yourself, you can't, when I lose 20 pounds, I'm going to get an hour-and-a-half massage. No. Make it tiny, make it easy, make it fun, and celebrate it instantly. Part of that philosophy is in the Heroic app on my phone. I will do a demonstration, figure out how to video me showing you my app and what I go through. But the idea of the app is that you sit down your little goals that you're going to have each day to make a masterpiece day. You've heard me talk about masterpiece days, and those are ones that you set out in the morning. I want to do this, X, Y, and Z. And you actually do X, Y, and Z. You're spiraling up. You're not making earth-shattering moves day in and day out. You're making tiny incremental movements towards goodness. What you choose, that's good. So the celebrating part is once, on the app, you got X, and when you get X done, you swipe it and you go, yes, that's like me. I did what I said I was going to do. Stellar. Brian's got tons and tons and tons of target swipes. And his are idiosyncratic. And I found out when I was doing my sheet, that I was doing some of those like he was. He is a 7-day-a-week guy. He gets into a routine. He has his flow. His family supports him. He's done this for, is eons right? Decades. I don't know. What's the difference between, Alexa, what's the difference between eons and decades?
This might answer your question. Eon is a subdivision of geological time. Short than a supereon and longer than an era. A decade is a period of 10 years. Decades may describe any 10-year period, such as those of a person's
That's
life,
as clear as
or
mud.
refer to specific groupings of calendar years.
Okay, so I'll have to delve into that a little bit further. That was clear as mud. Did you get it? Okay. Back to my sheet. So going from working out 3 times in a year, albeit I did go to a trainer, but that wasn't, I mean, that was like an appointment. It was one-on-one, and I do much better than that. I could go 7 days a week if it was a ritual. I had, and somebody was gonna, like, I had to show up. I had to do it for them. And quite honestly, and it is hilarious, and let's laugh about this. I knew about Bright Line Eating. I knew I needed to do organic, and I needed to do all these other things. And I just wasn't, that excited about it until I got an earthworm farm. Well, you've got to feed your earthworms. And so they like organic scraps. Yep. That's how I was successful. I guess I'm going to have to buy another earthworm farm. Well, I've still got it. I just need to buy my earthworms. So during my food prep, once a week, so I bought my containers, I bought my organic food, I got my scales, I weighed my food, I did my food prep, and it made it so easy. I mean, there's no excuse not to do it. But I find it's easier for me to do it if something else is counting on me. So those earthworms were counting on my scraps. Me, I would just like to just do a protein shake and rinse out my glass and be done with it for the whole day. I'm one of those people where I'm waiting for when we can just have all of our perfect nutrition in one pill. I don't think I'll live long enough for that. And I do enjoy chewing. So that's that. I am going to tweak what I'm doing here. But I did go from working out 3 times a year. And then I set it too high. Work out 5 of 7 days. Well, that's, yeah. And what in my mind, I thought I'll go to the gym 5 out of 7 days. Well, I actually get my steps in and row. So when I tweak this, I've managed to go work out at the gym 3 or 4 times the last several weeks. I think I'm still going to leave it at 3 or 4 because I'm still doing things at home. So not to take away any pressure from me, but to make it doable, and I can celebrate it and celebrate the fact that I'm doing so much better. I'm going to call my 51-day challenge a success. I would like to do another one. We're going to tweak some of this. I will spend time in prayer, thought, contemplation, using my intuition to see what needs to be tweaked that's going to be the most beneficial for me. And I hope that I can encourage you to start your own 51-day challenge. One little tip, or one hint, and I think I've said it before. Heroic mission, Brian's mission is to have 51% of the world population flourishing by 2051. That mission and his passion behind it gives me angel bumps. I am behind that 1,000, 10,000%. Martin Seligman, in his book, and I'll look for that, Flourishing, someone in his group and asked him, "What's the moonshot goal?" He goes, "What?" And I'll get more background on that. He said, "I don't know." Somebody was challenging him, what's the whole idea of this flourishing, this book, this study, the research, what's the moonshot goal? And it ended up being his moonshot goal. And I don't know how long ago that was, but Brian adopted that and embraced it and found the structure to accomplish that. One last little tidbit is that Elon Musk hired Brian to structure the school that his kids were going to help. Our public schools were teaching, we're trying to poke everybody in a pigeonhole. And when we first started schools, it was to help train humans to work in the industrial age. We have to change how we teach our students. I can speak from experience. I haven't taught in several years, but I have taught school. I have learned, and I would despise teaching to any kind of test with initials. Every person learns differently. You may learn by doing, you may learn by hearing, you may learn by reading, you may be very creative and it's difficult for you to sit still. Everyone needs to be taught creative thinking, how to solve problems, not how to memorize things. We're still asking people to memorize things, and I think we need to move forward instead of backwards. We need to let the boots on the ground, those are our teachers, help structure the way the students are taught, not the school board, who may not have a clue. And they just ran for office because it seemed like a cool thing to do. It's not all of them, but I have seen it personally with some of them. Happy end of this 51-day challenge. I'm going to, where's my gavel, declare it a success. Let's do it again. And thanks for joining me. And I'm sorry this one's so long. We should have had a commercial break, and it's not quite been 20 minutes. But we have to get up every 20 minutes. You got to get up. Stand up. Do air squats, something. Ankle circles, arm circles. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you soon. I heart you.